Hello, everyone. Welcome to the webinar. We are here to talk about making marketing fun, which for some of you sounds like no fun at all, but I promise I'm going to make this as engaging as possible, give you some really useful tips, talk about some case studies and scenarios, show you some ways to make it feel good for you. And I do want to disclose fully, we launch a book launch in a box, our 6-month cohort training program for book launches. Every April and May is our big launching time frame, and I will be talking about that at the end of the webinar. And I will be doing something a little bit different. Instead of doing an early bird pricing, what I've decided is everybody in WIP school and everybody who attends these webinars live will get a link that we'll give to you at the end. And you're automatically just going to get 50% off for being here. So there's not going to be, there is a coupon code, but the link that we give you that's only available to people in the webinar will automatically have that in there. And I am so excited about that. I'm going to have a whole nother session just on it, but I have revised it, revamped it, completely redone it, and I'm super thrilled. I'm excited about my program, so hopefully you will be too, but we will get to that. I have a lot to tell you about, and and let's get to it because I talk a lot. I have a lot to go. Don't forget, use the Q&A box. Chat away if you'd like to, but use the Q&A box for questions. I will not be looking at questions until the very end. Those of you who know me know that I can get distracted by a question and talk for 30 minutes about something, and then we're here all day. So we don't want that. Okay, let's get moving. All right, I have some fun new tools that we're going to use today too in this presentation. So I want you, while I'm opening up and getting started, I would like you to grab your phone. What am I doing? That's not what I want to do. Oh, the things changed on me. I would like you to grab your phone so that you can scan a QR code. It's a very easy thing. I'm not asking you to buy anything, trust me, yet. But this is a fun little exercise that we're going to be doing. So grab your phone. If you don't have a phone or don't like to do QR codes with your phone, my lovely assistant Catherine will be dropping a link for you in just a second. But here we go. Let's make marketing fun. And I put again in question marks because I don't know if you've ever thought it was fun. We're going to cover tips, tools, and resources to maximize your marketing in a way that isn't painful. That's my hope. Next slide, please go. Okay, who is this for? If you're here, it's for you. I'll just go ahead and say that. But maybe you don't like marketing, you dread it, you're ready to get more book sales, but you don't know how to do it, or you're scared of marketing, you want to build your author platform, but you've been told that you have to spend all your time creating great, relatable content and viral TikTok videos, and that's not what you want to do. You're looking for solutions that don't suck, quite honestly. Like, how can I do this and not dread every moment of marketing? And you want to enjoy your book marketing efforts. If any of those things represent you, or you just want some great tips, or you just wanted to come hang out with us, can I get the little celebration icon in the everybody, what's that thing called? The little thing that looks like it's shooting off, whatever you want to call it. Maybe there's a delay or nobody feels like they're any of those things. I'm not seeing them. Can you guys use are we tracking? Can y'all hear me? Confetti. Yes, there we go. You're hitting them. I'm not seeing them. Well, that's not fun, Zoom. Okay, you can see them. Good. That's all that matters. Okay, our goals today: to make you not hate marketing. That's my first goal, because let's be real. If you want to sell books, you're going to have to market. So you've got to figure out how to make it at least a little bit enjoyable. I want to shift anyone's mindset from fear to fun. Everything that we do is mindset bound. Don't you agree? If you get up and you say, today's gonna suck, I hate life, I'm in a horrible mood, I have to market my stupid book, what kind of a day do you think you're gonna have? As opposed to, it's a wonderful day, I get the honor and privilege of sharing my book with people. I know people love it because I'm getting great reviews, and there might be some things that are challenging, but I'm gonna love today. it's going your attitude drives everything. And then let's find some marketing tactics that align with your personality. So this picture over here to the right is of me right there in the middle, with some of my closest and longest friends. These are my Kappa Alpha Theta sorority sisters from college. And we threw a big book launch party when 4 Days in Paris came out. This was like my 15th book. I'd never had a book launch party. This is my first fiction novel. I was so excited about it. And we just had a blast doing, coming together, having a big old party. We danced, we ate, we drank. It was so much fun. Now I just want to have book launch parties all the time. It's fun. If you haven't done it, do it. Do it. Okay. Little late in the game to say who I am, but now that I've gotten you hopefully excited, if you don't know who I am Alexa Bigwarfe. I am a lot of things. ADHD, perhaps, the strongest of them. But my biggest uh, pleasure, I guess, joy in life is being able to work with authors and help them achieve that dream of publishing their book. No matter what the reason, no matter what the genre, no matter any of those things, it is such a life-changing moment when you accomplish a dream of this nature. And it's a pleasure to be a part of it. And I try to do that in a way that excites you, that teaches you things so that you don't waste time, don't waste money, and that you can enjoy it as much as we do. I'm also a mom. I'm a Francophile. I love France. These are my three kiddos when they were much younger because they don't like it when I post pictures of them now. But I always tell our authors and our publishers and our industry professionals that this is hard work and you have to remember why you're doing it. I have more reasons now because after the health scare and issues that I had last year, working for somebody else would be quite challenging for me right now. But I want to be here with them for them. And this is my why. So the hard days, I remember when they were cute and liked me. Okay, I told you we were going to do something fun and with a QR code. If you can drop the link, Catherine, there it is. Okay, so if you'd rather click on a link, this is a cool tool that I have learned in some conferences that I've gone to lately. If it works correctly, you should be getting, let me make sure, I'm going to test it out with y'all. You should be, or someone let me know, does it take you to a little form on the internet where all you have to do is put in, oh, I have my airplane mode on so people aren't bothering me. Hold on. It should just bring up a little thing that says, how does marketing make you feel? Great. Just enter one word, enter all three words if you want to, but enter some words. We're going to come back and we're going to look at those results in a minute. Okay. This is what most marketing experts say to do. I'm one of them. You all know, if you've attended any of my programs, we're always like, you got to do all the things. You just have to. Well, there's truth to that, and then there's nuances, right? With everything, like you do need to make sure that you have a platform, that you have an email list, and that you have a way to get people on your email list. Any of these things and so many other things are options to get there. Some of them depending on your genre, depending on how your backlist, depending on your personality, are going to get you to places faster. My goal in this workshop is to make you think about what of these events, and this is not everything that you could potentially do, but to make you think about the things that you would really love spending your time doing. But here's the key, and we'll get into this a little bit more in a minute. Everything you're doing needs to be geared towards getting in front of new readers, however that may be, and growing your email list. I am still 150 million, 1,000%, billion times, whatever, make up your number, behind emails as the best way for you to market if you're willing to use your email list. And that part's not so hard once you work out a plan. That's a whole different topic. But you're going to want an email list because remember when TikTok went dark for 12, 24 hours? I do. I got a 15-year-old daughter and her 15-year-old friends, and I'll never forget the text I got from my sister because they were in her car after a volleyball tournament when TikTok went dark, and she thought her eardrums were gonna pierce from them screaming about TikTok being gone. Things can go away. You want to make sure that you control your audience. Has it boosted sales for me? I do 99% of my sales through email marketing, through my business. Now, as an author, yes, you're still going to make lots of sales through your email list for a variety of reasons. But this is not an email class, so we're going to keep on going here. The point of this is that if you try to do it all, you're not going to have fun and you're not going to get consistent results if you try and do it all at the same time without a plan on where you're going with it and moving forward. And this is what we feel like. This is what I feel like this a lot. I don't know about y'all, but okay. Why do we dislike marketing? All right, I'm going to go look at your survey results, which means I have to exit that full screen and come on over here. How does book marketing make you feel? The results. Oh my goodness. It's telling me there's 88 results, but it says, okay, the most popular: overwhelmed, excited, anxious, nervous, frustrated, scared, exhausted, lost, hopeful, overwhelming, confused, daunting. It's fun. Yay, somebody's got a fun in there. They're intimidated. It feels salesy. Oh my goodness. Why don't I have I like the word cloud better. Okay, this is it here. It's putting them all in there, and it puts the ones that have the most answers in the middle. Uncomfortable, it's nerve-wracking. Some of you feel accomplished. Yay. Expensive, it sure can be. We want to not have that happen. It makes you unhappy, depressed, nauseous, impossible. Okay, I got the right people here today. let's do something about that. Nobody wants to feel that way, do we? Okay, sometimes ignored when people don't take the action that you want. Yes, all of these things, all of these things. Okay, we're going back. So, here's a little story for you. You might recognize the name on these books. For those of you who know my whole story, my first book was actually Sunshine After the Storm, a survival guide for grieving mother. That's what got me into all of this after my infant daughter died. But I was also raising those three little munchkins that you saw. The youngest one, it was her twin, her identical twin. And after I published Sunshine After the Storm, which I didn't do a lot of marketing for because it didn't feel like a marketing type thing. Like I wrote that to get into the hands of the mothers who needed it. And I actually give away hundreds of copies of the book every year. So that's its own kind of marketing though. But I realized I loved writing books so much. And I was like, well, what else do I know a lot about right now? Well, I know a lot about being a mom right now. So I got together with with another blogging friend. We were both building mom blogs, and we started this Lose the Cape series. Okay, so the myths. If you do a series, you're going to sell lots of books. That's true in most cases, if you're marketing them. Myth 2, if you have a bunch of people that participate in your books, you're going to sell a lot of books. Between these 4 books, we had over, I'm going to guess, probably close to 100 or more contributors, people interviewed, people that we mentioned, stories that we did, all of those things. We have not probably even sold a total of 100 of these books, which is sad to me. This last one, I think, is absolutely relevant right now, The Mom's Guide to Becoming Socially and Politically Engaged and How to Raise Tiny Activists. So if you know anybody who's mom and wants their kids being more involved in the world and doing good, please share that. That's my marketing for the day. Okay, myth number 3. If you build a podcast, everyone's gonna buy your books. We have a Lose the Cape podcast. It was great. People loved the podcast. We covered so many things for moms. I mean, we covered the whole gamut. We had a blast. We did, I don't know, 200 or so episodes. It was a pretty successful podcast. We grew a Facebook page around it. Everything was great. But guess what I wasn't doing? I wasn't marketing the books because I just assumed, well, if they find us and if they land on our page and they see that there's a book there, then people are going to buy the book. Wrong. So why am I telling you this? I had so much fun doing all the things with Lose the Cape. But when we launched the first one, I'm going to tell you what I did. I self-sabotaged myself. I was so scared because this was my first book that I actually cared about, that I felt like, I mean, I obviously cared deeply about Sunshine After the Storm. It was my first book that I wanted to like come out the gates and have, a big moment. And we were going to, become superstars overnight and wind up on the Today Show and all of those types of things. That I actually I did the opposite. I just leaned into the fact that we had contributors on this, that we had interviewed, and that we had a Facebook page growing, and that we had a little bit of an email list from the podcast, and I just assumed that that would be enough. But I didn't have a marketing plan. I didn't have a strategy. I didn't have anything, and I kind of avoided marketing because my thought process was, well, if nobody buys the book, it failed because I didn't market it. And I could just blame it on that because I was afraid of putting my time, energy, and money into marketing it and not getting any sales, because then it would have been a failure. So I failed myself by failing myself. You know what I mean? So we don't want to do that. We want to stay away from this idea. I have another client who had a Facebook group of 50,000 people that she'd built over time on a specific topic. And when she launched her book, she just assumed, I'm going to sell 50,000 books because I have all these people who love my group and all that kind of stuff. She had an email list that wasn't quite that big. It was probably in the 20 to 30,000 range. And she wound up selling about 1,000 print books in her launch month. So as you can see, numbers of followers don't always equal book sales. Some key marketing basics that I want you to think about. One, you have to understand your audience. I know people hate ideal reader exercises, but if you don't know some basic information about who is buying your book, and yes, sometimes they get really silly. It's not silly on the sales side. If you're selling a course or a product or something like that, you really do need to know tight demographics. Where do they shop? How many kids do they have? Are they coupon clippers? All that kind of stuff. You don't necessarily need that for the book audience, but it is important to know, what does my book do for them and why would they want to be reading it? So no matter what genre you're writing in, that's a legit question. If I'm writing in romantic comedy, who reads romantic comedy? Am I marketing to the right people? Because there's all kinds of levels of steam and romance and all that kind of stuff. Does the cover fit what they expect? Does the blurb, all these things, who am I marketing to? With a clear message, developing your branding. So if I'm marketing cute little cutesy, clean, closed door romantic comedies, I don't want to be posting a whole bunch of pictures of shirtless men and sweat dripping off and, just all those. That's the wrong vibe. I also don't want to be posting things that look like somebody's going to get murdered in the book. Also the wrong vibe, so make sure that you're branding around your book, around your topic, around your idea. If you are posting about writing and publishing a book about gluten-free foods, you probably shouldn't be posting pizza and pasta that's not gluten-free, unless it is, and then you want to post those things. Or let's make it a more obvious example. You probably shouldn't be reviewing children's picture books on your website, your social, all that kind of stuff, unless they're children's picture books about why people need to eat gluten-free. Those types of things. Create your branding around it. It makes everything easier and more fun when you know who you're talking to and how to talk to them and where to talk to them. You've got to be growing new fans all the time. My favorite expression to say, and you've probably heard me say it before, is we do not sell hamburgers. We are not McDonald's. We're not selling a cheeseburger. Someone's not going to come buy our book today and buy it again tomorrow and buy it again the next day and buy it again the next day. and then die of a heart attack because they ate so many cheeseburgers. But you get what I mean. Like it's in most cases, one book is a one and done. Your true fans might buy, or if they're like me, I generally get an ebook and an audiobook, and if I really really like the book, a print cover. So you might get 3 sales out of people. That's why your backlist is important, because if they really like those books, they're going to buy your other books as well. But you have to be growing and adding new fans, because that's the only way you continue selling. So all that to say, a plan is important, and that part is not always fun for people. How you implement the plan, how you do your marketing, how you make marketing more fun, there's no shortage of fun ideas. There just really isn't. Anything that you think would be cool and that you think would resonate with your audience works. There are some core things that you have to do that might not be so fun, like building that email list, creating a basic website, creating the lead magnet and those types of things. Those may not be very fun when you're in the process of creation, but they get fun. The fun comes afterwards. Okay. When does marketing just really want to smash, just really want you to pull out your hair? When you have no plan and you're just haphazardly doing things. The spaghetti against the wall analogy. You're just, let me try this for a little bit. Let me try this for a little bit. Oh, that didn't work because I only tried it one time and I didn't do it well. So I'm never ever doing that again. Or that was awful. I launched my book and nobody bought it, but I didn't market it to anybody. So of course nobody bought it. When you don't know who or how you're talking to, when you see 0 results, that is hands down the biggest killer of so many people. But like the the old adage goes, an overnight success has 10 years of work behind them. Like there's a lot of work that goes into it, and sometimes you're not going to see results at the very beginning. This is why it's so important to not just race out the door and publish your book as soon as it's done. This is why it's so important to take the time to get it right, to build the audience. Marketing's so fun when you have no budget and you're worried and you're spending here and you're spending there and you're not sure if it's working, and you buy this because somebody said this is going to be the thing that saves the day and does everything for you. And then you try out a new program. I mean, I might have done this year where a reputable company was like, oh, we have this great new marketing thing. It costs $900. We're going to market your book in front of all these people. You're going to see all these sales. And we saw 0 sales. That is not fun. Not fun at all. And when you have no support, that's why communities like ours, the Write Publish Sell community, WIP School, the Women in Publishing Summit, that's why community is just incredibly important, because when marketing is not fun, you can bond together, you can share experiences, you can share resources, you can do cool things together. There are so many fun things happening in the author collaboration world right now. It's blowing my mind. And we'll talk about some of those, but that's just one example how you can get in there. So again, still, that's no fun. No fun doing all these things we just talked about. I see no results. I'm trying to implement that stress cloud and it's not happening because I don't have a plan. I'm stressing out all the time. I don't know how to market. All those words that I feel sad, I feel depressed, I feel vulnerable. I'm seeing every day, I'm spending all my time seeing if somebody bought my book or left me a review, and I'm wasting time fretting rather than actually doing the things that can help you. Okay. Throw all that anxiety out the window. I don't know what you need to do right now. Scream, yawn, do the yoga roar, lion roar pose, whatever you need to do to wipe your mind of all that anxiety, stress, and think about the thing that lights you up. Paris is my thing. If you know me, you know anything Paris is gonna make me happy, except for looking at the price of plane tickets to get there. That does not make me happy. But I love Paris. So I started writing books around Paris because obviously you have to go research, right? So when is marketing fun? When you have a plan, it's basically the opposite of the when it's not fun, right? You have a plan, you see results, you're getting great reviews, you're getting more readers, you're making smart budget decisions and you're tracking your return on investment, knowing that some efforts have a very, very long tail and you won't always see a return on investment immediately. You're doing things that you enjoy, you're making money, you have support, and you're not doing it all on your own. There again, I have to reiterate, it's not always going to be fun. I love having children. It is not always fun having children. I love writing. My friend Dan and I were joking back and forth the other day. I was like, all we want in the whole wide world is to be professional, full time, just writing books and having a blast doing it. And yet, how many times do we go back in our text messages and saying, I'm supposed to be writing, but I'm cleaning instead. I'm supposed to be writing, but even the things we love, we tend to not always love or avoid or whatever, right? All right, so let's go through some examples of fun. So for Kiki, for Emma St. Clair, she has just a wicked presence on Instagram and on TikTok. And it's clear by her marketing, it's clear by her engagement that she loves engaging with her readers on social media. It's fun for her, it's fun for her readers, it's fun for everybody. For someone else, this may not be fun at all. Also, it's a lot more fun when people are actually responding. So sometimes you've got to build the audience first, which can or may not be fun depending on how you are. Okay, another Instagram example. This is Caitlin. She wrote the book, Hi, It's Me, I Have ADHD for Children. Phenomenal book. She loves Instagram too, but she also has a podcast host, which brings her a lot of her followers. She does reels all the time, and they're fun for her. They're fun for the listener or reviewer. And she's doing what she loves by building her audience around this because she wants to be out there coaching kids with ADHD. She uses her book as a method. It's a two-way flow. The book brings people into her world and she brings people from her world to her book while she's doing all these other things. She does lots of speaking engagements and she again has her podcast and all of these things. She's doing it in a smart way and she markets what she's doing through them. So again, if you're doing these fun things, enjoying them and growing the audience, make sure that you're talking about your stuff from time to time, or at least putting a link in your bio or doing something so that they know what you've got. This is a little bit of an older picture back in the day when we were all still masked up, but is going out and doing this. Is one of our community members sent this picture to us. She was all fired up about doing an event after one of our summits. And, for some people, getting out, setting up a table, talking to people, being out and about with people is absolutely fun. I don't always love events. I love being at events. I don't like having to set everything up and do all those things. So for me, this probably isn't where I'm going to put most of my time and energy and effort. Although I love talking to people, but I'd rather be at like conference type events, not doing that. But for other people, this is awesome. You love spending your Saturdays at the farmer's market or doing whatever you're doing, and it's a great way to sell books. Here we go. There's my fun. I went to Paris 2 Novembers ago, and it's a very silly picture of me, but I was having fun there and took some little reels of my book in front of the Eiffel Tower and all kinds of stuff. Oh my gosh, was that fun for me. I really enjoyed it. I couldn't tell you if it made any difference in anyone's lives or resulted in book sales, but it sure does make for fun videos and promo on Instagram. And for me, that's great because if I'm going to be spending my time doing those things, I want them to be fun and resulting in energy. You know what? Are we still? Okay, there we go. Yeah, see, Diana says talking to people at events is way more fun to her than typing up an email. And you know what? I just want to say right here, I forgot to add this into my slide. I thought about it before the presentation, but I forgot to add it in. AI, I know people have talked so much about the negative sides of AI when it comes to books, but I want you to throw all of that out again, and I want you to think about AI for marketing. You'll be amazed. And we're going to talk about AI and Book Launch in a Box a lot. And Nicole is here. We just had a session yesterday where we used AI to generate some ideas to use for marketing and for outlining things and for, I mean, it's mind blowing how fast it can help you in your own voice with your own words to do the things that you want to do and save you so much time. So think about AI if writing newsletters is a pain for you. Those kinds of things. Getting together with people. This is fun. This is also sad because this was our team a few years ago and now it's just me, Raywin, and Casey left. But, it's fun to get together and do bookish things. This is fun, right? Who wants to go onto their Amazon page and see 1,300 4.5-star ratings and #1 bestseller? That's the best. That hands down, this is the most fun. All right, let's think outside of the box. So we've talked, those have been very traditional, like when you think about what are traditional things. Who likes to go on cruises? This I am so excited about. If you're a romance writer, sweet romance, romantic comedy in there, and you want information on that, you just let me know. I will add you to the group because this is being run by Victorine Lusky of the Writing Gals, Emma St. Clair, my idol and everything, and Jenny Proctor, and they are going to be like the key people there. We're going to go, it's going to be readers, it's going to be authors. We're going to get together, we're going to go on a cruise. There's going to be some learning, there's going to be some sharing, there's going to be connections made. And I turn 50 in 2026, so I'm thinking, yes, please. I'm so excited. But how much fun is this? What can you do that's outside of the box? If you love taking people on adventures or creating fun ways to get together. If you're Emma St. Clair, who is also Kirsten Oliphant, is so creative when it comes to finding ways to bring her readers together. She did this sheet cake thing. It's a thing from her book. I'm not going to go into explaining it, but it's a theme from her book that her readers know and recognize. She did a little getaway where they all came to Texas and stayed in this camping place, but there were bunk beds, so it was, glamping. And she brings her people together and they love it because they love her. That takes time to get there, but these are the types of things that you can do once you've built those audiences and those true fans that want to go and do fun things like this together. Okay, Joanne, let's think outside the box of doing stuff with other writers. Because writers are wonderful. We want to do things with other writers in collaboration, but when we're talking about marketing, we need to be doing things with the readers. How do we have fun with the readers? Yes, this one is for sweet romance only because that's what they're going to be teaching on. I mean, you could probably come if you don't write sweet romance, but I don't know if you wouldn't get much from it. Okay, so that's a whole nother thing. We'll talk about that later. But here is the secret. Word of mouth marketing all the way, y'all. That's got to be what your goal is in your marketing, and word of mouth marketing will make everything else easier, and it makes marketing more fun because when other people are talking about your book and bringing people to your book, everything gets easier. So when I go back to those initial things, whatever you're doing with your marketing, whatever you are doing with your marketing needs to bring a good book to the right people that are going to want to go talk about your book to everyone they know. I know a lot of people don't read the Friday newsletters. I probably should start sending them on another day because, that's the day that people are doing other things. But last Friday, I was so pumped up because I had this most amazing word of mouth marketing experience. I went to get my hair cut. I love my hairdresser. She has been doing my hair since, maybe before the twins were born, maybe right after. We'll say 2012. A long time. She knows everything about me. She went through my divorce with me. She's gone through my relationship since then with me. She knows everything. I brought her 2 copies of my books because she has a stash of books on her thing, and I know that she likes to read, and I've been telling her since I published 4 Days in Paris that I would bring her a copy. So we start talking about books. And she's like, oh, I'll share these with, she said, all the ladies in here, we're in a book club together. We just love reading books. We get together, we talk about them. You know what a book club is. And she was like, I'll recommend these to your book club, but it may be a little while because we're going through this series right now. And I was like, oh yeah, what series? And she was like, well, I don't normally read this, but it's romantasy. And I was like, I knew you, or fantasy, she said, because romantasy is a newer term, but she said it's fantasy. And I was like, oh, yeah, I don't usually read fantasy. And she was like, me either, but let me tell you about this book. And she proceeded to gush about this book for so long, and I got excited about it. And then I was like, okay, I'm in, I'll read it. And she was like, you better, because you're not allowed to come back to get your hair done by me again until you've read this book. Now, is that the most positive word of mouth marketing in the entire world? So I got the audiobook because I drive around quite a bit, and I started listening to it, and I am hooked. It is so good. It's called The Fourth Wing or Fourth Wing. It's number one everywhere right now. So it's if you read Divergent or like Divergent, it kind of reminded me of Divergent, but with dragons and magic. Amazing. Anyway, that's what you want. That's what you want is people just, oh my gosh, have you read this book by Lexi Haddock? You have to read this book. You have to go get it now. Here, I'm not talking to you until you've read this book. That's what you want. So everything that you do is about building an audience, building buzz, building reviews, building people, because it is a snowball effect. The more people that get excited, the more people will start talking about it. The more they share it, they give it to their friends, it pops up in places. That's what we want. And while this is not a strategy session, you can't have fun marketing if nobody's talking about your books. I mean, that's just kind of that's the two things that go together. They just link and can't be separated. I think. I mean, unless punishment is your idea of fun. Okay, this was fun. This is so cool. I don't know why I write romantic comedy, y'all, because when I say I have always been a thriller and horror reader from the time I could hold those, from the time I was mature enough to read them, that's what I've been doing. James Patterson, I'm goo goo gaga for his stuff. And yesterday I did a podcast interview with JD Barker. It's one of those times where I should have done my research because as we're talking along and I'm, oh, great, a thriller writer, this is fun. He's like, yes, I just hit the New York Times bestseller list at number 2 with the book, the most recent book that I've co-authored with James Patterson. And I almost fell out of my chair. I was like, what now? Google, who are you? And I then started like fangirling, but we're talking along. He is the nicest guy. I cannot wait for y'all to hear his podcast interview because we're always talking about how to bring in revenue sources and things, and it's been heavily nonfiction oriented. Well, he for one is talking on the fiction side, and it was just phenomenal. But he tells me about his new book that's coming out, something I keep upstairs. He said it's the scariest book that he's ever written, and it's on pre-order. And he's like, now listen, this guy, he has self-published, but then he's also had 750,000 deals from major publishing houses and all kinds of big things happening, right? So he's got money to invest, and he openly admitted that. He was like, this giveaway is costing me some money, there's no doubt, but I'm really trying to get all my fans super engaged and go as viral as possible with this giveaway. So his giveaway is he's found this super scary haunted house on a secluded island, and he's running a giveaway to people who participate in it to win a night in the scary house with 3 of their friends. And I was like, what a fun idea. Now, when you talk about spending money, like I don't have the cash to go rent a haunted house and do a giveaway and have people there, but I hope by the time I'm at his stature, I will. But the point is, this is fun, and this is stuff when you think about what does my reader want? Oh, heck yes. Heck yes. I'm entering, I'm pre-ordering, I'm also buying his whole backlist because now I'm invested. And Damien's like, no. Not fun for her. She's not going with me when I win this prize. But just what I just want you to do is I want you to just open up your mind and think from the farthest extents that you can. I write children's picture books. What would be something really cool and fun that's not going to break the bank that I can do? And it doesn't have to be this big, but there are fun things that would be really intriguing to your audience. With children's picture books, we love giving away classroom sets to teachers. That's a great one. If you're writing on a nonfiction book, I'm going to show you some things that some other folks in other genres have done as well. But you have to think about, like, okay, if I was a reader, because you are hopefully a reader in your genre, if I'm the target audience, what would I think is cool and how can I make this happen? And this is also where plugging in with your network can make things so much more fun. Logan's here. Let me tell you about the amazing collaborations that happen, right? Who are the rest of my rom-com sisters in here? I doubt Emily's here, but is Kimberly here? Logan and Kimberly Casey and I, we all write basically sweet romance, romantic comedies. We'll put them all kind of in that general brush. Like, we could do something super fun, like I don't know, if there was a cute little town where we wanted to bring our readers together and like have a, cute little, in romantic comedies it's always this like gorgeous little like ski lodge in, someplace, or find a place that like our readers would love to come and invite them to do something. I mean, there's so many things. Hey, all right. So, just think about what you like. Yes, we're going to talk about podcasts for sure. I just want, with that, I wanted you to just see how big, how wild it can go. Like, there is no limit to the fun things that you can do to set the world on fire with your energy and excitement about your book. So this is my longtime friend and client, and just love Renee Rebar to death. She's been a regular member and presenter in our community, and she finally, after years and years of saying she was gonna do her did we though, Logan? Did we actually do that Valentine's Day promo? I think we did. She finally published her book recently, a couple weeks ago. And she is a nonfiction writer. I wanted to do nonfiction because I highlight a lot of fiction and children's books, but she just had so much fun stuff going on. Again, if this is fun to you, on her launch day, she went live 5 times on Facebook in her group. That is not fun to me. Because I put all my energy into something and then I'm exhausted and I need to rest. So I can't imagine going live 5 times on my launch day. By the last one, you'd basically be watching a video of me with my head on the desk sleeping. I don't know, but she did all these things. She did giveaways. She had really creative pre-launch incentives that were by the book. She did great. And on her launch day, we watched her book both in print and ebook shoot to the top of more than one category, multiple categories, not just in new releases, but also in bestseller. And we say, Amazon bestseller category, is that really, well, who cares if the legitimacy, or if it really matters, or if it doesn't matter. The reality is, being at the top means more people are going to see your book organically. It means Amazon's going to show it to more people, means you have bragging points to take screenshots of and show everybody. There are a lot of legit reasons for wanting to go to number 1. But she is continuing to do these fun book launch party prizes in her Facebook group and giving away things and doing, some of them are really big prizes. She runs a conference, Experts Connect Detroit. One of those people is getting a free thing. So she runs a business for entrepreneurs, and she gave just phenomenal prizes to get people involved in doing her book launch. And it's been a lot of fun. Again, Instagram is a great place for children's book authors, and you can have so much fun with your content and with the creativity around reviews, putting screenshots of your of your actual book content, putting stuff out there. Like I do really enjoy Instagram, but I'm not gonna try to say that I do the Women in Publishing Summit or Write, Publish, Sell. Raywin does all of that because that is her gift. If you look at my personal account, it's a little all over the place and is just me talking about my life, and there's no aesthetic, there's no beautifulness like this. But if you see our professional accounts, they are so well done. So if that's not your gift, you can have someone help you do that. If you're launching a book, other ideas of collaborating with people who do really cool things. When we launched Rupert's Snowman a few years ago, we reached out to a lot of influencers on social media, and they put together fun things to go along with the book, like activities for children. If you're thinking about what would be valuable for people who are getting my book, this is super valuable. An activity that your child can do. If you have little ones, you're always looking for more things to do with them that are different than the 10 things you've been doing for the last month. So there's a lot of value. You just have to think of what what is a value. Okay, today is April 24th, which is Holocaust Remembrance Day. Not a fun topic, right? But an important one. Excuse me. You can still have fun marketing, even not fun topics. And Pat Blackgold has done an amazing job getting out. Now, getting out the word about her book, while she's written an illustrated book, this is very much a book that is probably appropriate for fourth grade up and for adults, but can be used. It's done in a very sensitive, very beautiful, soft way, talking about the hidden children in the Holocaust and their story. And it's a wonderful book. And if you want to support an author in your community, this would be a lovely way to give tribute back to Pat, to go over and grab a copy of her book. We've reduced the hardcover price. It's free on Kindle Unlimited. I mean, we've done all the things. But she's gotten out there. She was on PBS. She goes to speak at in-person events. She does all kinds of things to get out, thinking outside of the box. Just because I have an illustrated picture book doesn't mean all my efforts need to be in elementary schools. In fact, she would probably do better in middle schools. But again, it doesn't matter. Like, she's found the way that she enjoys getting out in communities and talking about her books and relating the themes of empathy and compassion. And you have to think about what's going to work for you. This works for Pat. And if you attended the summit, you should definitely go back and watch her presentation on how to give meaningful presentations as an author. Can you recommend a podcast booker who does not make you sign up for 6 months or more? Ooh. Yeah, they've gotten really expensive too. That's something I will put out feelers. Oh, you're so welcome, Pat. I'll put out feelers on that. If anybody helps book podcasters, where I would start is maybe with a virtual admin site. This is why I don't look at the chat, because I just go down the thing. For me, I had so much but that was a good question. I had so much fun launching 4 Days in Paris. For those of you who don't know, this is based on my real life. Although it did not end the same way in my real life. But during COVID and when I was getting divorced and I was sad, I thought back to a really happy time in my life, which is when I was living in Paris in 1999. And on New Year's Eve, I met just an incredible guy. We're still friends to this day. And so I wrote my own romantic comedy about meeting someone on New Year's Eve and falling in love and marketing this. Oh my gosh, I had so much fun. The cover's amazing. The book tour, the tour was amazing. Now let me tell you, doing a review tour, and there's many of them out there. We use Love Books tours, and it's just so much fun to see other people loving your books too and talking about them and the fun graphics that other people came up with. This is my friend Dan, and he shared it on there. Like, it was just, oh my gosh, I just had fun. Okay, let's take a moment to do some brainstorming. We're going to get interactive here. So I want you to open up the chat if you're not already in the chat. And I want you to think about some activities that you enjoy doing that you think could help you engage with new readers. So in-person events, maybe it's creating engaging content. Maybe you love talking on video. Maybe starting a YouTube channel would be just right for you, or getting on TikTok and exploring with that. I wish I had more time to play around on TikTok because it is a lot of fun, but it's also very, very addictive. Maybe starting a podcast or going on a podcast. You guys, podcasts are just an amazing, amazing place for authors to be, because it's already a friendly, warm audience who is primed and ready to go to hear from you, and they're pre-recorded. They can be edited, so you don't have to be worried about them. Book clubs, networking events, if especially if you're and in the nonfiction field and you're looking to connect with other professionals. Advertising strategies. Some people have a lot of fun doing ads. You know, social media could be your jam or not. Doing giveaways, doing merch and specialty content. Let's see what you all are putting in here. Going to indie bookstores. Yes, I love it. In-person events, podcasts, sharing about the process of writing behind the scenes. People are fascinated by what it takes to write, publish, and sell books. They really are. You love voiceovers on Adobe Express short videos. That's cool. I don't know anything about that. That sounds fun. Book clubs. I'd love to do more book clubs too. I can't imagine anything more fun than hanging out with a group of friendly women and wine and talking about my book and how much they love it. Fingers crossed. It'd be bad if they didn't. Yes, all kinds of things. Reading and talking about books. Uh, Anyone with tools and sites on how to identify your ideal reader. I actually have a lot of resources on how to identify your ideal reader. If you go to writepublishsell.com and look up in the search bar ideal reader, you should find a few things. If you go to the podcast Alexa's Publishing Chat, I did a couple of episodes on ideal reader. This is something we spend a good amount of time on in Book Launch in a Box as well, because it's really key. And we have Pam Shepard, who's our guest expert, with us in Book Launch in a Box, and she is really great at helping you wrap in your ideal reader and positioning your book in the marketplace, which go very, very closely together. Okay, so your action steps. Make sure you really know who you're marketing to and how to interest them, and don't think that you just have to go by the garbly gunk vision thingy that says do all the things, but think about what people would be interested in. And you don't have to figure this out by yourself either. Go into the Women in Publishing Summit group or the Write Publish Sell Facebook group, or whichever groups that you're a part of, and ask other people, like, who writes in this genre? What kind of things resonate with your readers? Follow other authors who write in your genre and see what they're doing. That's one of the best ways. I get so many ideas just by snooping on other authors. I also love to follow authors in my genre because I'm reading their books, and it's fun. Seek out opportunities to collaborate whenever you can. Doing something fun with other people is far more interesting when it's when you're not doing it alone, especially since people have different things that they like to do. So when you do things in collaboration, maybe you find somebody who likes to do the stuff that you don't like to do, and you can do the stuff that you like to do that they don't like to do. But authors looking for influencers to talk about things, looking for promotion companies, looking for partners that are business partners. Oh, there's just, do not allow regular norms of the box to constrain you from thinking about anything that you can do. It's just so much fun. Make a list. This is important. Make a list of what you like to do and what you do not like to do, and find people to help you do the things that you don't like to do that are critical. Try new things. You never know what you're going to like. I used to be absolutely petrified of speaking in public. The idea of speaking in front of public made me want to crawl in a closet, well, with that bottle of wine under the desk. That's how I felt. And now I love it. I can't get enough of it. I'm actually trying to build a career around more speaking engagements. So you never know. Sometimes things that you think you're going to like, you don't, and vice versa. And then if you want more information specifically to another free webinar, we'll have your Smash Your Book launch coming up on May 6th. So that's another great opportunity. And if you're not on the womenandpublishingsummit.com/events, also on writepublishsell.com/events, you can find what we have upcoming, lots of free webinars, lots of free opportunities, because like we all know, not everyone has a budget, and I want to help you as much as I can, even if you're not able to participate in the paid events. Okay. Now we get to come back to our fun Menti thing. I really want to see, how does book marketing make you feel now afterwards? And I'm going to give you just a minute to pop back over there and put in your words. I really, really hope we're going to see a change. I hope I did my I hope I did my job. Catherine, do you have that second link for people? There we go. It's dropped. Okay. Okay. So far we have 2 responses. Okay. Okay. Curious is good. Creative, amazed. Why, thank you. Happy. You feel okay. Okay. Okay is better than yuck. Still overwhelmed. Less overwhelmed. For the person who is still overwhelmed, to me, that feels like you probably are, maybe tell me in the chat if I'm correct, to the person who said still overwhelmed. Is it because you're new and you're still figuring out all of the things, like what these words even mean, like who my ideal reader is, all of those? Yes. Hey, Erica, you absolutely need to delegate. Amen. Interested, you want to try things, you feel broke. Let me tell you a story about feeling broke. I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a minute because I think we get the point. Oh, and then we'll go back to the rest of this slideshow. On feeling broke, when I decided to do this, when I decided to start this business and start Sunshine After the Storm and all of those types of things, I had a special needs, medically fragile infant, a 5-year-old, I guess he was 6 by then, a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old. We had gone from 2 incomes to 1 income, and I couldn't even take my kids to Chick-fil-A without feeling like, oh my gosh, how are we going to move money around to do this? So I understand feeling broke. That's why it's even more important that you give yourself the time to develop a strategy, that you learn as much as you can from free resources, and you take the time to plan it out so that you can build an audience. There are things that you can start doing, and some of the things that we talk about are ways when we to bring in money. We're going to be having a mini conference in June on business, all business topics. I mean, like legit business topics. And I'm really hoping that we get somebody to come in to talk about generating revenue to start your business, getting investments or sources of places that you can get money to help you out, all those types of things, grants, all of those. But you can do a lot of things if you start far enough in advance and you start building up the market around your book. So that's really important, okay? But I also need you to know that to be as successful in any business, you are going to have to invest some money. I've never come across a famous author anywhere at any point in time who has said, I never spent a dime on anything and I just became a best-selling author. Like, there's craft development, there's all the things that, working with an editor or a writing coach, there's so many things to help you get there. So business plan, think about your business, and we will try our best to help you out with that. Okay. Alrighty, let's go back to, I have a few more slides, and then I'm going to get, hopefully, if there are any questions in the Q&A box. There are. Okay, I will get to the questions by the end of this, I promise. We are going to go over an hour a little bit. Catherine, I'm going to have you, if there's anybody who has to leave right at the hour mark, I don't want you to miss out from the opportunity of getting the 50% off. So I'm going to go ahead and have Catherine drop that direct link in the chat. Oh my gosh. It used to say present, so they change words and it goes crazy. I'm so glad that most people felt better, because this slide would have felt very silly if they didn't. But I'm going to talk to you about, key takeaways. Let me finish this really quickly. Some things are never going to be fun and you just have to do them. or hire somebody to do them for you. Period, point blank. You got to do the yucky stuff. Um, Once you've established the baseline, you can spend time on the fun stuff. And if you give yourself more time and you have a plan and you're strategic or you're partnering with people, that's going to help you get there faster and better. Be consistent, don't give up. Surround yourself with people who will help. And everyone's idea of fun is different. That's why we went through that brainstorming thing. I mean, we clearly found out that I like scary stuff and Tamian doesn't. So find out what you enjoy, find out what your readers enjoy, and they may not always be the same thing, but focus in and hone in on that. Okay. I would like people to put yes in the chat box if you want to hear about Book Launch in a Box, because I do not want to spend our time talking about it if there is no one here who wants to talk about it. Okay, that's enough yeses to move on forward. Here we go. Thank you, by the way. That's wonderful. All right. I think this is your ultimate solution. I really do. I have been honing Book Launch in a Box for, it wasn't always called Book Launch in a Box. It's gone through lots of iterations and changes and things, but every year we strive to make it better and better. And every year we have more questions and better things that help us really, really adjust it. And when I had really hoped to revamp the course last year, but as you may recall, in May, I was hospitalized and out for the next 3 months. So I didn't get to do a lot of the things that I wanted to do. But over the last few months in my spare time, I have been completely redoing the program. And I am so excited to include a brand new digital workbook that all of our previous folks are going to get. And we're going to have a good old time with it, walking through all of the elements of it. So ideally, because remember I said you need to take the time to build your base. Ideally, you're 3 to 6 months out from your launch. If you're sooner than that, I think it was Elizabeth Barber, maybe not Elizabeth. So there was somebody who joined the program like 3 weeks from her launch, and she just jumped in, got as much information as she could, did her launch, and off she went. But ideally you have more time to do that. You have to be willing to do some work. I'm going to give you all the tools and checklists and process and step by step and all those things, but you're going, this is not a done for you service. If you want someone to do all of that for you, then go find a done for you launch company. You got to have some time, you got to have big goals, and you need to be business focused. And whether you're writing a children's picture book, a fiction book, a book to build your business, any genre, any kind of thing, you are a business owner now, and you need to have some thought processes like a business owner. Not for anyone who's trying to do a rapid launch. And what I mean by that are people who publish a book every month. That is their marketing strategy. Not for people who are looking for a self-publishing 101. It is not a self-publishing 101. Anyone who can tell you, who's been through the program, will tell you we spend very little time on the publishing specific elements, although I do give you my self-publishing 101 workshop. And of course, if you have pressing issues that are stopping you from moving forward, I will answer those questions, because you have to have the book done properly to publish to market, right? But it's not going to answer all your questions about where and how to get an ISBN and all of those things. But that will be in the bonus workshop. Okay, if you just want to hire somebody, it's not for you. If you have no time at all, this is really for the people who are trying to build their own ship and know the foundation of everything. That doesn't mean you can't hire people to help you. Generally, anyone launching before August of this year, we will officially kick things off in June. I hope to get your materials out to you by mid-May, late-ish May, so you can kind of start looking at things, maybe early June. But those who aren't trying to build a business with or around their books. And what I mean by that is someone who's publishing their grandma's recipes or, their favorite memories, and they're really just doing, it's a passion project that they're just publishing to get out there. There's no need to do a big program like this. Okay. Our next cohort launches in June. Provides Book Launch in a Box, provides step-by-step guidance through all the key pre-launch and launch day activities. It provides post-launch marketing ideas, bonus content, programs to save you time and money, lots of guest experts, and opportunities to ask questions and get answers from real people, and the bonus digital workbook, which I am so excited to show you all and get out to you. And then We are creating an advanced Instagram for authors course right now, and that is going to be a bonus as well. I'm not going to read all of this stuff to you, but essentially over 6 months, what we do is we go through the modules and we answer all the questions and we go through all the checklists and we do all the things. And if you went through the program even last year, it's going to look considerably different. But I want to make sure that the people who have invested in this program always get the best of what we have to offer. So if you went through it before, you're getting the new and updated version as well at no charge. That's what we always do. Pretty slide. Okay. This is just a sneak peek at the workbook, the digital workbook. Everything is divided into the 6 main sections on what we have going on. And a little deeper dive looking into the workbook. You'll have a mix of written content and information, reflection questions, audios, videos, again, more written content, checklists, all those types of things. So I am so excited about the workbook. All right, I don't know if this is, I want to show you because I can talk about it all day long. But I want to show you, if you'll bear with me for a very, very, very quick video, and then I will get to your questions. All right, let's see. I want to do this and this. And thank you, Nicole, for recording this.
The thing that scared me most about self-publishing actually was the marketing. When I was at my first WIP summit, I got so excited. I was writing, I was taking coaching, writing coaching, and working with editors and all that kind of stuff. But hearing that I have to market everything myself and how to do that scared the heck out of me. And then I learned about Book Launch in a Box. And I went to Book Launch in a Box training, which just was life-changing, and it made everything not easier, but it gave me a guideline. It gave me a community that I could converse with when things were tricky for me. And this community is still there because it's a WIP community, and it's and Book Launch in a Box just helped me step by step on the way, and not just during those weeks it happened, but also still now, still ongoing. We're still a cohort. We can still exchange our ideas together. And Alexa and her experts are absolutely fantastic. I hear that now there's going to be a digital workbook that we can work with that helps us even more. So I'm super excited. And after Book Launch in a Box, I just went on to WIP school because I want that support and the knowledge all the time. So for me, Book Launch in a Box was a total game changer.
Thank you, Nicole. I hope y'all could hear that. I always wonder what the deal is. I didn't see anybody yelling that they couldn't. So, all right, what I guarantee, I cannot guarantee that you are going to become a USA Today or that doesn't exist, I don't think anymore, bestseller, or New York Times bestseller. I can't guarantee how many sales you're going to have. I can't guarantee anything because, as we all know, your sales are highly dependent on what kind of book you have, how good that is, and all those kinds of things. But I can tell you that if you join us, if you follow the plan, if you do all the things, you are going to see results. You're going to see results, whether it's audience growth, reviews, all those types of things. It's not for people who don't want to get their hands dirty, but we're going to give you feedback, assistance, all the things, and help you get going on that. Okay. So the cost is $9.97. It's a 6-month program. You have lifetime access. Well, I shouldn't say lifetime. You have, I'm not taking away access as long as I'm in business kind of thing. So you have access to everything as long as you need it. You get free updates and upgrades to the program. I will give you the updated materials, and you can attend the Q&As that we do live in our cohorts anytime you want to, whether you are a this year cohort or before. You get to stay in the Facebook group. So, it's really good because a lot of times people will come through and they're not at the point where they can implement a lot of things, or it's not clicking yet because they still have a lot to do with left with the book. So they do all the work, they get all ready, and then by the time the next cohort rolls around, then they're really ready to ask the questions. So that's been a really big benefit to a lot of people. As I said, if you use the link in the chat, that's only going to be available for the webinar people who are here live right now. And if you're watching the replay and you're part of WIP school, we will send you your own special link that you can use to get 50% off. But if you're here now, Catherine has dropped the link. Use that link and that will get you your 50% off. That's what I'm doing for early bird for my ride or dies who are still here and enjoying this and sticking around with us. So, yes, that's a big investment. There are payment plans and the discount applies to the payment plans, but I promise you, this is one thing I can guarantee you. I will save you from making costly mistakes that will cost you far more than $500 if you make these mistakes. That's one thing I can assure you right out the gate, right, hands down, my guarantee. Because if there's a mistake to be made, I have done it. I will help you do all the things that you need to do to build your audience so that you can have the most successful launch possible. I can talk very proficiently to almost every genre because I have either written or published almost every genre. And the nice thing is we have a wonderful community of people who have been successful through this and who also are still in the Facebook group and weigh in and do things. And also we have Pam Shepard, who is one of the most knowledgeable people in the book industry, and she is there as a guide as well. Now, I have more bells and whistles on the slides and everything that we'll do in future things, but that's where we got to today. So, okay, let's see here. Okay, I'm gonna open up the questions now and I'm going to answer the most relevant questions. I can't answer everything at this point in time, but I'll get to as much as I can here. Okay, and actually I'm gonna let you all upvote. If you go into now, you can go in. This will help us if there's more than one people that have the same question. You can go in and you can upvote. And bye, Pat. And that way I can make sure that I've got the most questions that people want answered the most. And so I'm going to give that a moment for people to do that. What time are the live sessions? So we try to keep them consistent so that you can plan out, but we do live calls every other week basically. And they'll be on Mondays, Wednesdays, or Fridays, usually at 1, 2, or 3 p.m. And I vary them a little bit so that I don't want a situation where somebody comes specifically for the live part and they can never attend anything ever, but I have to keep them between that 1 and 3. Sorry, I was stuck to my chair because I'm hot and sweaty in my office. TMI. But I try to vary them a little bit so that you don't miss all of them. And again, we will keep these ongoing yeah. Okay. So everything is recorded. You can submit questions ahead of time. And if you're not able to attend live, and we also answer a lot of questions in the Facebook group. Can B-Lab help launch a next and established series? B-Lab can help you launch anything you want to launch. I write in series now, so I have some pretty good experience on that. And I also work with a lot of people who write in series. So I want you to think that what I'm providing is best practices for growing an audience and building what you need to do to make sure that you have all the foundation in place. So the way that it would be different with the series is you're already building, you're already going. This isn't going to be your initial rodeo, if you will, but we'll make sure that you have everything in place so that you are getting the most from your next launch. I've actually had lots of people come through. I don't know if Elizabeth Ducey is here today, but when Elizabeth Ducey came through B Lab, she already had multiple series in the works, and she actually came through to make sure that she was doing everything for her most recent book that she was launching, and then going back and doing all the things to make it um as to make her backlist as appealing as possible, and get things really going. And she really enjoyed the program, so I would say yes. But we provide the foundation of best practices in book launching, and then the Q&As are meant to be to get into the process of digging deep into everyone's questions. And so far, we've never had a situation where everyone's questions didn't get answered. So if that's, we usually don't have too many people, so that we don't have enough time to answer questions. So it's been really great for people. You're not stuck in there with, like, there's not going to be 150 people in there and you can't get your questions answered. Let's see. All right, don't forget to upvote if there's a question that you really want to hear the answer to. I'm trying to think of some ideas for giveaways at personal appearances that relate to my romantasy that takes place on an alien world. Well, giving away copies of your book is never a bad idea. And D, what I would encourage you to do is, if you're not already following other authors and watching what they're doing, get on their email list, not just their social media, get on their email list, because a lot of authors do email giveaways, but I mean, do giveaways and things announcing in their thing. So if you're going to do a personal appearance, and you could put together like a merch or swag bag too. I got the coolest swag box from one of our authors, who sent me her book, and in fact, I have the mug right here. C.I. Harris. She sent me At the Island's Edge with her book cover. She sent me some sunscreen and some coconutty things and all kinds of stuff, because she created a real package, a real vibey package around her book. So that, anything like that, I mean, people love, you would be so amazed what people will do for a free t-shirt. So just think about stuff that people like, and also ask your readers, would you do polls wherever you, through email or through other places, and find out what they would like. They'll tell you. You just ask, do you like t-shirts? Do you like a box of chocolate? Do you like, what goes, an alien romantasy? I don't know. You could do something really fun, like create a little alien, like, I don't know, plush toy. Who knows? Think outside the box. I used a PR marketing firm for my first book in my historical fiction series. Whoopsie, what did I just do? But I don't want to incur that expense, close to $10,000 for book 2 of 5. But I know zip about marketing. What would you recommend? Donna, I would recommend that you come to any free, if any free presentation that I offer. I would recommend that you join Book Launch in a Box, because for $500, much less than $10,000, if you grab the link today. And we'll teach you, and we have some PR and marketing bonus sessions in there by PR and marketing experts. So, there's a lot of great information provided to you, not only from me, but from the experts, from other experts in the community. Okay. Does B Lab tell us specific places to find things like book tour companies, book reviews, and other components we need for marketing? This is my favorite question in the entire world about B Lab. Not only do we, yes, tell you exactly where, and I think our previous attendees are going to be so excited about this. In the newly remodeled, you know what? I just had a thought. If you're purchasing today and you get an email that has access to the content, ignore that, because I haven't added any of the new stuff yet. I need to check that email as soon as we get off of here. Okay, so if I just totally, hold on, reviewers, yes. So not only do we tell you sites to go to and tours that we use, sometimes we have bonus discount codes and things. I need to check with Book Love Tours and see, or Love Book Tours and see if their coupon code is still good. But for years, we were doing book launches as a service for people, and I paid a lot of money to folks to go out and research in all the places, booktubers, podcasters, reviewers, influencers across all kinds of genres. And we have compiled all of that information into spreadsheets and we give that to you all. And I can tell you that that's at least $1,200 value, because I'm pretty sure I paid the team more than that in all the research done to do that. Now, granted, some of them are outdated and old and you have to go, but it will give you a good starting. And yes, this is a place where we spend a lot of stuff, a lot of time. We have a bonus session on working with influencers and all kinds of stuff. This, to me, this is the meat of growing your buzz, of creating buzz, is getting with these. And the cool thing is, a lot of them are very reasonably priced, especially for what you get in return. So yes, yes, yes. Do you have any tools and webinars on how to identify your ideal reader? Yes. If you go, to writepublishsell.com and put in the search bar ideal reader, you should find some things. I've got some podcast episodes. And I'll try to remember, and let me make a little note for myself to put information on ideal reader in the replay email. But yes, we have a lot of stuff on this. This is something I talk about a lot. Okay. Book launch in a box. If I don't know my launch date yet, but it will likely be 2026, can I buy this program now but use it to participate later on, or should I wait to buy it till later on? I think you should, that's up to you financially, really. If you're able to do it now, I can't promise you what the price is going to be in 2026, or if we're even going to run it live in 2026. We probably will. This is our core program. But you can always start going to, okay, this is the reason we have people start so far out from their book launch, is because, as many of our folks will tell you, there's a lot of things that need to be considered even all the way back when you're writing your book. If you're not considering your marketing and your ideal reader and and the audience in mind as you're writing, you're already behind the power curve. So it can influence your decisions on what type of book cover to have, how to write your book. It can influence a lot of different things depending on your genre, of course. So there are tools and things in there that you may want to be looking at. When we launch a book, we start the marketing at the very beginning of the process, and it takes us 18 months, at a minimum 12 months, 18 months, and sometimes even 2 years. I'm not saying that it's going to take you that long, but as a publisher, we take a long time to develop all of these things. And as someone building a brand new platform, assuming you're building a brand new platform, it takes time, and you're going to want that time. But yes, once you're in. So you can go through the materials whenever you want. Now you can work on it here and there. You can come to the Q&A sessions, or you can wait to come to the Q&A sessions next time. And sometimes just coming and listening to the questions that other people are asking makes you realize things that you have missed. We've had so many aha moments just because somebody's like, I never even thought about that. I didn't even know to not know that I didn't know that. Do you have, yes, I have lots of advice for marketing picture books, and we have a whole lot of resources on writepublishsell.com, a children's book launch checklist, a marketing checklist, resources, and things like that. So you can go over there. I can't remember what all we have on purplebutterflypress.net, but I think there's some stuff for children's picture book authors there as well. And yes, lots of stuff on there. Would you say that focusing on online marketing is more efficient than spending time doing in-person events? This completely depends on your audience and your genre. And for you, Leslie, I would think that you would get a lot of benefit doing speaking engagements and going to things like, I'm thinking Rotary Club, I'm thinking community events, I'm thinking, lots of different elements like that. LinkedIn might be a great place for you. It really depends on how you're trying to pull your audience in. The most important part is not whether it's in person or whether it's virtual, it's what you're helping people do or overcome or achieve or any of those things. So, this comes down to the biggest questions, and one of the first questions we ask people to spend time looking into is, what are your goals? Who's your ideal reader? And really, one thing I should probably add in there are, what are the goals of your reader? I need to write that one down. That's a good one. What are the goals of your reader? If you know that, and that could just be enjoying a book, it could be learning something, it could be getting new recipes, it could be healing their body, it could be teaching new concepts to their children. But that's something sometimes we call it the pain points. What are their pain points that you're trying to answer? Maybe it's just educating them. I don't necessarily love pain points for fiction and children's books, and even memoir, because getting entertained isn't necessarily a pain point, but it is a goal. Okay, my book is 8+ months away, and I'm still writing it, and will take that long would be appropriate now, or wait another year? I think, Vivian, the answer to the other question would be the same for you. Like, it's never too early to start marketing. I go on a lot of podcasts and a lot of summits, and I get asked, what is the biggest mistake new authors make? And almost every time my answer is not starting their marketing early enough, because you're thinking, oh, I just need to focus on writing my book now. And this is something JD said in our meeting, in our podcast interview yesterday too. He was like, it's all about creating buzz and marketing, and all authors, regardless of route to publishing, whether you're traditionally published or hybrid or self, marketing has to be something built in from the very, very beginning. But I also want to be very clear that if it's going to stress you out, you know your life better than I do. So if I mean, you might be able to go in, if you have time to go in and do some of the stuff self-paced and then attend the Q&As later, or just pop in and listen. To me, there's a lot of value of just being able to listen, but it's up to you. But I would say if you're 8 months out, you definitely need to be in the program now. How do you find AI for finding appropriate podcasters and book clubs? So what I would do is I would go over to Chat GPT. Well, shoot, just use your Google search bar. What I always do is I go to Google and I say, what are the best podcasts for authors of historical fiction? What are some what are some book clubs for readers of historical fiction? What are podcasts for historical fiction? And you can do the same thing on Chat GPT or any of the AI tools. Just go in there and ask. You can also go into any of your social media tools now. I don't know if you've noticed. You've probably noticed, because it's very hard not to notice, but through Meta, AI, all those things, like, it's in the search bar now. So you could even probably search. Excuse me, I'm sorry, I've been talking so much, I'm getting the hiccups. Let me take a sip of water. You could search even in the search bar of like Instagram podcasts and your genre, and anybody who is a podcaster for those genres or for that, it will pop up because they've probably put it in their bio, which is another reason why it's so important that in your bios on social media you put author, historical fiction, or rom-com author, or something like that. But yeah, you just have to talk to your AI. Like, I'm funny because I talk to my AI like a person. I'm like, can you please tell me the best podcast for me to go on as a rom-com author? So there you go. Okay. If I know zip about marketing, can B Lab guide and educate me to do the launch? 100%. We are going to go through is your book marketable, to positioning your book in the marketplace, to all of your pre-launch activities, which includes finding readers, growing your ARC team, growing your launch team, getting trade reviews, getting editorial reviews, doing all those things, creating buzz, 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 marketing to librarians and retailers if that's your jam. All of that, then we have a session on launch day that you're going to want to think about in advance, because if you're going to do the types of things like I showed you with some of these people, you can't just throw them together a week before. They take planning, they take thought, sometimes they take venues and money and all kinds of things, so you want to be thinking about them. And then the final section is post-launch things to consider, how to keep the things going, and some additional resources available. What is a good promotion site to use for children's middle grade book ages 8 to 12? Something to help grow an email list or get get eyes on your book. The Children's Book Review. I'm not sure if they do middle grade, but I would go look at childrensbookreview.com and see if it's over there. And then running ads. We've started running ads on our children's picture books on Facebook, and they've been pretty good at sending people to Amazon, and we've seen a direct increase in our books. You can also run ads to your website, or again, you can go in and ask AI or ask Google or ask anybody else out there, you know, how are you promoting your picture books grades age 8 to 12? I would get involved with the Society of Children's Book Writer and Illustrators organization. They have workshops and things, and I would also get into groups of authors who write in these genres and see what they're doing. I find middle grade to be really hard. Really hard. It's hard because a lot of it is dominated by the big names, big people, and at like, Captain Underpants and a lot of those types of books. But getting into schools is really critical as well. Marketing to librarians, doing things of that nature. Okay. Where do you get coffee cups and shopping bags made? Oh, I love this one. There are a lot of drop shipping companies out there. We use a company called Printful, like print, F-U-L, printful.com, and then we connect it to a company called Launchcart, which provides the shopping cart and distribution. But there are lots, if you go out and you look up drop shipping for coffee cups, drop shipping for swag, drop shipping for bags and t-shirts and things like that. There are a ton of companies out there. But for anybody who's ever purchased a coffee mug or a t-shirt from the Women in Publishing Summit or any of our swag, we do that all through a company called Printful. I'm releasing my 4th book in July. Yay, Kimberly! So, but I stink at the pre-launch stuff. I know that's not enough time for the B-Lab experience, but I will have enough time to learn, work ahead with the workbook for such things. Absolutely. July, 3 months is what I usually tell people is the minimum amount of time once you have a book ready to go, like your ARC copy. But you can start doing that stuff even before, building the audience, building the things, looking for the things. Yes, if you pop in and start working immediately. I thought you were in B Lab before, maybe just WIP school. I'm going to be getting the workbook out to everybody soon. I noticed one issue in the book that I want to fix before we get it out there. So I will get that out to people as soon as I can, and you can start working ahead and start going through this stuff, because again, the more time you have, the better. But yes, I think it will, I think you've got plenty of time before July if you dig right in, and hopefully you have a final formatted, edited PDF or are very close. I would say that you should, if you don't have that, you shouldn't start trying to launch until you have 3 months with your PDF. If this is your first book, and if you're not doing multiple launches this year, there's a lot of ifs. That's the other thing. Like, I can give you the big picture best practices, but really when it comes down to it, like your launch, there will be certain things that are across the board everybody should do, and other things that are going to be very, very specific to the answers of your own goals and reader goals and all those types of things. Okay. If we sign up now, do we get into an online community immediately or do we join when the class starts? So yes, you will get added to the Facebook group very, very soon. To be honest with you, I just ran out of time trying to get all the pieces together. So if you sign up today, you're not going to get access today. But very soon, within the next week or so, you'll get the information on, or maybe immediately on the Facebook group. But soon, yes, you'll be in the group, you'll start getting the information. And I am aiming to have you'll get the workbook within the next few weeks, and then access to the course materials a little bit before we start. We just don't actually start with the Q&As and all of that until mid to late June, but you'll have some time to work on your content before that. And there's some pre-work and other things. Okay. Can you share one tip on how to get info on your target market? I hear that a lot. Where they work, what do they eat, what do they do, but what type of personal info as an author? The most important thing on finding out about your ideal reader is to answer the question, what does your ideal reader want from your book? Why are they reading your book or books in that genre? If you can answer that question, then that takes you down the path of other things. So depending on the genre, it's more or less complicated. Okay, so let's start with the easiest. If you're writing fantasy romance, your ideal reader is people that love fantasy romance. But as we just talked about in my example earlier, or anyone who just loves a really good story that's got some steamy scenes, etc. But that's your secondary audience, right? That's what you hope that your book will do. That'll be so good with your primary audience that they're going to tell all their friends about it. So the real question is why? What are they reading? So it's very easy in genre fiction. Rom-com readers read romantic comedies. They may also read sweet and clean romance, like they all kind of can go together. So those folks are the easiest to market to because you already know the expectations of that genre, or you should. If you don't, if you're not already reading in your genre, that's step one. Okay, then as it gets more complicated, you get into memoir. Like there are some people who just love memoirs, but more than likely it's going to be people who like memoirs of a certain theme, strong women stories, stories of overcoming things, stories of how I rose to greatness, whatever it is, they like themes on that. Okay. If you're doing nonfiction, then it's all about the thing that they're trying to solve generally. So are they looking for books about health? Are they trying to get healthier? Are they trying to change their lifestyle? Are they trying to start meditating? Are they trying to build a website? What are they trying to do? So then you start building your ideal reader around what is it that they're trying to achieve, and how do you start creating content that speaks to that? So if you're writing, let me give an example. Renee, the book that I showed you on the nonfiction example with her book that shot to the top, the sales thing. Her ideal reader is women, corporate women who have a lot of expertise and have a lot of things that they can share, and they are thinking about starting their own business but aren't sure how to sell what they know. So she's going to be doing a lot of things that are talking to women who are trying to become entrepreneurs and what they need to do to build those communities. And she's doing that through having a Facebook group for female entrepreneurs. She's doing it through having a podcast series and all these other things that talk all around these topics in places where those folks would like to go. If you're a therapist, are people listening? There's a whole lot of therapists on TikTok. Is your audience on TikTok? Are you a family therapist, anxiety, that's where you have to know the purpose of your book and why people are reading those kinds of books. And if you can answer that question, that is your primary audience ideal reader, is that person who's trying to teach their child ABCs, who's trying to teach their child empathy, who's trying to learn a skill. Where are they looking for content, and what kinds of information would be interesting to them? Okay, do stunts like Barker's overnight stay really make a difference in sales? It can, but again, he has a large audience already. He has a name. He has a branded name. People already know who J.D. Barker is if they're reading thrillers. So that's probably not going to be the most effective thing for a brand new author with no audience to do. So the point of something like that is to get people excited about his book. His book is about a haunted house. So the connection is going to stay in a haunted house. And he knows that the people that would be interested in this book are likely going to be interested in a giveaway of this nature. So yes, it can be very effective, but so can a coffee mug with like stressed out mom on it. If you've written a book for stressed out moms or stressed out teachers, and those things you can create, very simply and inexpensively, and give away a package to the stressed out teacher with, some bath salts and a candle and some chocolate. So there are lots of ways that you can speak to your audience in a way that would be meaningful to them, and do giveaways and do fun things without it being, um, out really, really just, whatever. Let's see. Info on the cruise and cruise line. I have no idea, Tracy. I'll grab the information to the Facebook group, and I'll post that in B Lab for anybody who's in there. I haven't even looked that far. They said three of my favorite authors and cruise to Alaska in 2026, and I was like, awesome, put me in the Facebook group. Um, how long is the 50% offer going to be available? Pause for effect. That's a good question, Amanda. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to offer it every webinar that I do from here to launch. And I probably am going to use the same link, so that won't be getting closed. So let's just say the official answer is it's fast acting. The actual answer is, as long as you have the link, only people who are live get that link. I just ask that you don't share it with other people, please. If you don't share with other people, then if you need some time to think about this, then that's fine. But also check out the payment plans, because they are super reasonable. But yeah, I really, I have to make money because I'm a business owner, right? And I have to pay the team, I have to pay myself, businesses run on people buying things. But I truly want people to be able to get what they get from the program. So, I don't want to play gimmicks of like, you have to do it by tomorrow and all that kind of stuff. Okay. I used a company to publish and market. It wasn't a good experience. Now I realize what I needed before I reached out to them was to self-publish. Now I want to revamp with a new book cover, pen name, etc. B-Lab would be a great place for you to do this. I don't think that Laura is here today, but we have workshopped her book all the way through. From I don't remember how much information we did on her cover. I think she had that already done. But yes, people share their covers, we give feedback. Again, it's not just me, it's the cohort that's there for you too. You'll be able to post your cover and ask. I know in the Women in Publishing Summit group, we also had somebody post their cover, and we completely helped with all that stuff. But yes, we have recommendations on people that you can use. One of the most important things about marketing a book is having a book worth people buying. So I'm not letting you go out the door with a cover that's not going to sell. And I'm not letting you move forward with products that I know. And you can ask Renee, my friend, who just launched her book, because I don't like people putting out money and time and energy on something that we know is going to be a disaster. I'm not saying that your book would be a disaster, big picture, So yes, we can help you there. Oops, I don't want to type an answer. Is it okay if an author doesn't ask for pre-launch reviews like ARC readers, but does say when their book is available and could ask for book reviews during launch week and afters? Are there initiatives to being an ARC reader if there's still a free ebook coming out regardless for all readers? I don't know why you would be giving away free copies of your book if it was not in exchange for reviews. I mean, obviously you cannot give away free copies of your book in exchange for reviews officially via Amazon. Okay, but you can give away copies of your book under the expectation that they are going to be advanced readers, provide feedback, provide provide reviews on all these other places, etc. Now, if you're talking about having a free download day or something like that, that's different. People are technically buying your book. That's for sales stuff, and you'll hope that they will review it. But I'm going to say you can do whatever you want to as an indie author, right? But there are things that are going to have good results for you and things that are not. And if you don't do any kind of pre-launch marketing, pre-launch reviews, ARC readers, all of those types of things, it's going to be very, very challenging for you to have a successful launch and for you to have the build that you need to get up there. Because when you're sending people to an Amazon page or a Barnes and Noble page or wherever you're sending them and you have no reviews, no feedback, no nothing, nobody's gonna read your book. Nobody's gonna buy your book, even if it's free. Like, I don't always get a free book from people. Now, a lot of caveats there, right? So I just want to say the pollen is killing me this year, and my throat is so scratchy. I just want to say that you cannot create enough buzz prior to your launch. And there is another massively added benefit to having advanced readers. And that is, especially if you're self-publishing, people can catch things that you may not realize are going to be problematic. Especially if you haven't done the work of going through beta readers, developmental editing, workshopping, professional reading, professional reviews, and all that kind of stuff. Like, and you go out there and you put a book out in the world that a lot of people haven't looked at, you may have some problems. But JD said something in our interview yesterday too that was, you've got to think about your future business as an author. And if you come out the gate and you haven't done any pre-marketing whatsoever, it's really, really hard to create the momentum post-launch. So everything is judged based on that. If you want to get picked up by a traditional publisher later, if you want big reviewers to take on your book, if you want all of these things, like, a lot of that stuff happens from the buzz. So if you want a big reviewer to talk about your book, most of them are looking at books before the publication because their job is to create excitement around books. Well, if everybody's already read the book, it's not very exciting to come read their review on the book or watch their video or whatever. So there's a lot of things that happen in the pre-launch window that are going to help you build the base for bigger things happening later. So again, though, at the end of the day, you're in charge as an indie author. I can only tell you what I think is going to be the best option for you, based on lots of things. But at the end of the day, I've launched many books without ever marketing them, and I can tell you that they don't just spontaneously start marketing themselves. I wish I had done the pre-work. I wish I had more reviews. I wish I had not just given people free copies of my book without the guys or without the understanding that it would be for reviews, because it's hard to get people to go back and leave them later. Does B-Lab provide information on editing and formatting? I will provide you Self-Publishing 101, and it will have the basics on the things that you need to do to publish your book. We have people in our group, we talk about these things for sure. They come up in discussion, but it's not going to be something, we're not going to go into a session on editing, on formatting. But if you have questions around those things, we'll make sure they get answered. What about post launches, a book that was never launched? What about anniversary launch on their pub dates? Yes, this is the beautiful thing about, despite what I just said about it being harder, there are lots of people who have gained traction post launch if they have put together a dedicated plan. And for many of them, it's kind of like doing a launch for a book that never got anywhere. So you can relaunch the book and do the all the things that you would do with reviewers and all that fun stuff. That's the cool thing about being an indie author and small publisher is you get to make the rules. So that's exciting. Reviews cannot be added on Amazon on pre-launch. That's why using tools like Goodreads and other things that we talk about in Book Launch in a Box are so incredibly important. But there's a process to being able to get your book on Goodreads and all of those types of things. But you're really going to want to be having your reviewers post on Goodreads and on other review sites prior to Amazon, and then having them go back on launch day, or even if you do a little soft launch a day or two in advance, so that you're not publicizing, but your team can go out there. Lots and lots of strategies around this. Okay, I made it through all the questions, at least that were in the box. Catherine, are you still here?
Yes. I am.
Oh, sorry, Catherine Neiman. I saw that there were some questions about your, can I apply what I already paid to towards the coaching program? Yes, Catherine, we'll work that all out. Yes. Just send us an email and I don't have a way to apply it to, but we can, if you purchase the program, we can refund you for the other one. Okay. Anybody else have was there anything you saw that, Catherine, that was in the chat that you couldn't answer or you need me? Thank you for everyone who has signed up. I really appreciate it. And thank you for hanging out for this long with me. This was a very, very long presentation, but lots and lots to cover. Okay. Anything I missed, Catherine?
No, most of those questions that were dismissed are people that are no longer here.
Oh, okay. Great.
So,
All right, everyone. I will try to get this recording up. It's probably going to go up without the Q&A because it's so long, and really appreciate your time. And thank you, Ken. I appreciate that. All right, everyone, have a wonderful day. Don't forget to head over to the events page on either of the websites. WomenInPublishingSummit.com generally has more stuff on it because we have all of our sponsor webinars and everything, but you can go over there and see what we have coming up. Free webinars every month, lots of great topics. And if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, youtube.com/Write Publish Sell, youtube.com/@Women in Publishing Summit. We have both there. Definitely, that's where you can find the replays of all of our webinars as well. So, all right, hopefully I'll see a good bunch of you in our June cohort. And I'm gonna go lie down. Have a good day. Thank you. Thanks, Catherine.